Welcome back to the A100 podcast. I'm Colleen Gallagher, and I'm joined by my co-host, Meghan Henning. Today, we're so excited to have Rusty Willams, the co-founder of AnswerStage, on the podcast. We've been talking video and how associations can up their video game a bit lately, and we're really excited for today's conversation. Thanks for joining us today, Rusty.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So let's set this stage for our listeners and tell us more about AnswerStage and how you work with associations.
Sure. So we kind of start with the thought that your most valuable marketing asset as an association are your members, are the people who are part of your association, attend your events, really participate in your community. And so, in thinking about that, what's the best way to leverage that asset, your membership, the enthusiasm, the advocacy that can come from that? And the answer is video. But then for most people, that's kind of a quick nod your head and you're bought into that concept, but it's expensive, it's time consuming, it's very hard to do. Right. So we set out to solve that problem, to try and make it something that you can do not just for a few, but for hundreds of people. And so our platform, AnswerStage, is used to send out a link, collect responses, and then transform those responses into a branded video that can be shared on social networks and blogs and emails, etc. So we've automated the collection process and we've automated the production process so that it can be done at scale. Again, literally hundreds rather than a few videos is a type of project that we would pursue.
That is so interesting.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you talk about going to the members and using them as a resource, because that's what associations are all about. And if you don't leverage your members, you're doing something wrong. So
exactly.
I'd love to talk member engagement specifically and how you think video plays a role in driving that.
Yeah, well, so, I know that the word community is used a lot with associations. And I always think it's interesting to kind of come back to the word association. Like the whole point is that we have something in common. We are associated with each other, and that's why we're part of the organization that you're part of. And so that whole concept of community and reinforcing relationships is is a key factor. So membership reinforcement and acquisition is a key part of what we help associations do. And so a great example is just telling the stories, literally telling the stories of people who become members, why they became members, and what benefit they got from it. So here's one example. We have a client we'll talk more about in a little bit, but their focus is on security, but physical security. And so a lot of people that are part of their association are from the armed forces. And they collect a bunch of stories about how did you transition from military life to a more civilian or public type service career. And so they gather those stories about those kind of career transitions, very specific, very personal, but it's something that the people can relate to that are part of their association.